It's time for the Hockey Writers Grindline, a weekly show covering everything Detroit Red Wings. Brought to you by our own iconic top line of Wings writers. Sit back and enjoy The Grind.
Welcome to the Hockey Writers Grindline. I'm your host, Pat Brown. Joining me, as always, are my line mates, Devin Little and Kyle Knopp, and we are thrilled to have you join us for another grind. Before we get started, just a reminder, this week's show is being brought to you by Morning Skate, the Hockey Writers morning newsletter that drops right into your inbox every weekday at 8 a.m. sharp. Stay in tune with the world of hockey by keeping up with the latest news, rumors, stories, funnies, and so much more, all delivered conveniently right to you. So go to morningskate.io, sign up right now, and see what all the fun's about. So let's kick off the Stanley Cup Final edition of the show. We are filming this during Game 5, mind you, so a little bit of torture for all of us here. But we're going to go with an oldie but a goodie. One good, one bad from the week that was. And I have a feeling we might all have the same good. Call me crazy. But to kick it off, I'm going to go with my one good is going to go ahead and be Moritz Seider for Calder. I'll leave it at that because we've got a lot to say on that yet. But how exciting to see the young lad bring home the Rookie of the Year hardware and in decisive fashion.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So that was good stuff. Really quick, I'm going to go with my one bad is still just that the Colorado Avalanche are in the Stanley Cup Final. That's I can tell just how young some of these other podcast hosts are by cheering for the Avalanche, and any of you guys, even our own names, not our namesake, but a podcast that may share the same name as ours. Watch on Sunday, and if you're not old enough to remember it, well, that's on you, because I'll never be able to cheer for him. Never be able to cheer for him. That's my one good, one bad, and I'm unapologetic for it. Devin, what do you got? One good, one bad.
Oh man, my one good. I'm going to kind of expand on what your one good was. Lucas Raymond and Moritz Seider both made the all rookie team. Obviously, Seider winning the Calder, that's kind of a shoe-in. But it was good to see Raymond be on the all-rookie team. He finished fourth in Calder voting, so just outside that top three. I couldn't tell you the last time the Red Wings had two players on the all-rookie team. If you're looking for hope for the future for the Red Wings, I don't know why you're still looking because it's right in front of you. But that is evidence that this team is heading in the right direction. And my one bad, hopefully. To kind of go to your point, Pat, hopefully this series isn't over after tonight, because I'm actually getting a little upset that hockey might be over for the next couple of months. I'm excited to cover the off season, all that entails, but I'm going to miss hockey. So one bad is that hockey is almost over, and we're going to have to wait until training camp opens up to see more of it.
I feel that, although, like you said, there'll be a lot to talk about once that draft rolls around here on July 7th. So good stuff. Kyle, over to you. One good, one bad from the week that was. What you got?
Ooh, to pick only one is quite tough for both, I'd have to say. My one good is obviously going to be the Calder voting, with Seider and Raymond finishing top 5. That's like Devin said, that's the future is here. And then we have a couple more young guys that are coming up as well. I believe even Ned got a vote for Calder.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's just, it's the future is bright in Detroit. So that's obviously going to be my good for this past week. My bad. Let's see. Roman Josi getting snubbed. Offside the too many missed call on Wednesday.
Boy.
The news that I just heard that I can't share right now. I mean, there's a whole bunch of them. So I'll just stick with the fact that we might be done with hockey and we might have been robbed from a 5 overtime night on Wednesday night, I think is my bad, and we'll just keep it at that.
More on that news later. Stay tuned. So Kyle, to your point, really quick, we got to talk about it because I went on my anti-Avalanche tirade already. I don't see a problem with that no call. I'm not gonna lie. I think when you look at where the sixth man was and where the play was happening, to me, you could call that 6-7 times a game. I really think that. So I know it's hard for me to say that, but I try to be fair, even in my hatred.
To jump in here. Okay?
Yeah, do it.
So my biggest thing here is, Kadri jumped the bench for a guy that was looking to come off, but then did not come off while McKinnon was still in the zone and was about 40 feet from the bench. Yes, there are times when you're within 15 to 20 feet instead of that 5 to 10 feet that you should be, that guys jump. Okay. But the fact that Kadri is across the ice and receiving that puck before McKinnon's even within that halo, that's where the call is, because it led directly to that scoring opportunity.
Kadri's the one who scored too.
And Kadri's the one that scored. That's my beef with it.
It's fair. It's fair.
I know people kept bringing up last year 7-man against the Islanders, and that probably should have been called too. But again, the ones that were on the ice were mostly behind the play. They weren't the ones that were driving the play. And in this case, Kadri drove the play and was immediately involved, and that's where the whistle should have been blown.
Well, everybody right here on this panel, I think we all remember when Pittsburgh played with a 6th man for like a minute. Yeah. And I'm exaggerating on that a little bit, but Devin, had you blocked that out, Devin? That was a thing, and that was a very long shift with 6 skaters that didn't get called.
But thanks for bringing that up.
I feel like on some level, just maybe because I'm younger, I feel like Pittsburgh is my Colorado. Like I can't.
Yeah. That's okay. And that's completely fair.
Except, and Malkin should have been suspended. A whole nother conversation there.
Yeah.
However,
oh my gosh, what kind of
no Penguin left any Red Wing having to drink a bottle of Ensure through a wired jaw for 3 months, mind you. But okay, driving us off track. Cannot wait for this documentary on Sunday. Cannot wait for Unrivaled on ESPN on Sunday. It's gonna be amazing. Can't wait to watch it. All right, we're gonna move on. Sorry, Matthew. Sorry, Dean. For real, we'll stay on track moving forward. Let's talk about Mo Seider, Rookie of the Year, gentlemen. We've been kind of opining for it all season. Lucas Raymond came out of the gate hot, and it looked like he was going to be the guy to catch, but Seider, just a picture of consistency all season long. We'll get to some of the reactions in our next segment, which I can't wait to talk about. But let's just talk about your reaction and how you felt. Like, for me, it was super exciting to see it. To see the ballot total at the end too was honestly almost surprising to see just how much he ran away with it. I thought that was pretty surprising, and I'm incredibly happy for him. And man, if he's not just a really great personality to watch, he's a funny guy. He talked about, I don't know if you guys saw the Baby Shark remix on Twitter, but that was pretty good. And he's giving his parents a hard time about vacation. Just what a great moment all around. Look, Red Wings fans have not had a lot to cheer about these past few years, and to have something like this to write home about, I think, in my opinion, was just super exciting and a real feel-good story, especially vindicating considering when he was selected back in 2019. Pretty much everybody scratched their heads. So
did you guys see that video where he read the comments on the pick?
About his own selection.
Yeah. Go look at it.
Oh yeah, yes.
Good stuff. So Kyle, we're gonna come to you next. Your reaction on Moritz Seider's Calder Trophy win.
Oh, I mean, absolutely. I was stoked. I mean, I can't even describe how exciting it was for to see him and see Yzerman's pick be vindicated, and just shown how well that it was thought out and actually paid off. I mean, Seider absolutely deserves it. He spent the whole season dragging Danny DeKeyser around on the ice and played, just like you said, was so consistent. And that's something you don't see out of a first-year defenseman playing top line minutes against the best every night in and out. So I think he very, very, very much deserves it. The 4 writers that had him in 4th place, I'm very, very confused by that and wondering who they have over him. But, Lucas Raymond did get 1 first place vote. So maybe it was the same writer, and but who knows? But, it was just it's great to see and very well deserved. And we can't say it enough, but the future is bright in Detroit.
Absolutely. Good stuff. Devin, you get the final word on this one. Your reaction, Moritz Seider, your 2022 Calder Trophy winner.
Well, it'd been 57 years since a Red Wing had won the Calder Trophy, going back to Roger Crozier back in 1965. So for a lot, and I do mean a lot of Red Wings fans, this is the first time seeing this happen. And it's a Steve Yzerman draft pick. How poetic, right? And speaking of Steve Yzerman, let's talk about all the players that have been nominated for the Calder Trophy. Talking about Yzerman himself. We're talking about Nick Lidstrom. We're talking about Sergei Fedorov. We're talking about Henrik Zetterberg. We're talking about Jimmy Howard. All of those guys, you could potentially make an argument that they should have won instead of finishing second. I especially single out Zetterberg in that discussion. Yeah. But this is sort of vindication for all those times where Red Wings overlooked. You couldn't overlook Seider this year. I think that he deserved to win. I think he deserved to win handedly. I agree with you, Pat, that it was surprising that he actually did that, considering how much attention was thrown on other rookies this year. I'm glad that the people who voted paid no attention to that coverage, because the right and like Kyle said, you can't say it enough. If you're a fan who is discouraged by the fact that this team has kept losing since 2017, they haven't been to the playoffs in 5 years now. This is your proof that yes, things suck right now, but they are getting better and they are going to be great. You've got a franchise defenseman on the back end who just won the Calder Trophy. Calder Trophy does not mean you're going to be like an elite player. It's not a predictor for success, but watch Seider play and tell me you don't think he's going to be great 10 years from now. So like I said, the right guy won, and I can't say anything else than that.
Good stuff. Really good perspective. So then let's talk about Zegras, because overwhelmingly, I'd say the response was positive for Seider, but there were a few highly opinionated people out there. One of which the voice of World of Chell, right, James Sapolsky, and I'm going to go ahead and read this verbatim just for the heck of it. Quote: Trevor Zegras not winning the Calder is ridiculous. Zegras did more for the sport of hockey this past year than anyone. The impact of the Zegras goal can't be measured off the ice based on how many people watched replays of the goal and how many kids he inspired. End quote. Wow, there's a lot to unpack there. Really quick, first of all, it's the Michigan. I knew you'd love that one, Kyle.
Nope.
Second of all, and go look this tweet up. The responses are just fantastic. And, the overwhelming response is that the award is not about how many people watched a replay or what the impact was. The award was for Rookie of the Year. And I don't think you can take that away from Mo Seider when you look at how he performed on a team that has pretty lousy defense, partnered up the majority of the year with I love you, Danny DeKaiser, but with a pretty lousy defender. And still the numbers that he put up and how well he did, you can't take that away from him. And we had a guest on this show many, 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 many moons ago, the son of the professor, Igor Larionov II, who prophetically talked about parlor tricks.
Good call.
That could be done.
Yes. Yep.
Prophetically. And look, I'm not taking anything away from Trevor Zegras. He's an amazing talent. He's going to be great for the game. He already is great for the game. I agree. But Moritz Seider was your Rookie of the Year. There was no player that had an impact on his team more than Moritz Seider. I'm off my soapbox. Devin, we're going to come to you. I know you play a lot of World of Gel, actually, so I'm curious if you're going to mute the TV now. But your reaction was I can't even say it with a straight face. Was Trevor Zegras snubbed?
Yeah, first and foremost, I think it's time to get Doc Emmerich back on the game.
Yes,
but no. My thought on this is short and simple. If style points are supposed to win you these type of awards, then the NHL owes Pavel Datsyuk a lot of Hart trophies. Because let me tell you how many kids that guy inspired. Go watch his highlights and tell me that he didn't deserve more awards. But you know what? Water under the bridge. The right kid won. I'm not going to say anything more.
Oops. Devin's mic drop moment. I like it. Kyle, bring us home on this topic. There was a lot to unpack with Cybulski's tweet. Your thoughts? Was there any merit to Zegras bringing more interest in the game? Therefore, he should have won Rookie of the Year.
I'm surprised Cybulski didn't tweet that Nasher or Justin Bieber deserved the Hart Trophy or something for all they do for the game. I mean, come on. This is just a joke.
Literally.
Devin, I like how you phrased it. The right kid won, because there was an old man fighting for this award that we weren't sure he was going to have an opportunity at it or not. But no, if you look at the voting, right, these are the hockey writers, Professional Hockey Writers Association, and they go around, they see all these players play, and 170 of the 195 had Seider in first place. All right. Second best was Trevor Zegras with 15. And then Michael Benting had 7, Raymond 1, and Jeremy Swayman with 2. So, I mean, come on. It's not even close. Seider was by far the best rookie this season for the whole season, and not just for a couple parlor tricks here and there. And yeah, I mean, there's, it was nice of Zegras to come down there so he could get roasted in front of his mom by Keenan Thompson. But I mean, honestly, we all knew that this was Seider's award to win.
Yep. Good stuff. Good perspective. And thanks for having a little fun. Those were some fun segments to shoot. Just a reminder for you guys at home, please remember today's show is brought to you by Morning Skate, the Hockey Writers Morning Newsletter. That's right. Enjoy waking up with some of the wittiest headlines around, all while impressing your friends with your in-depth knowledge of the hockey world. Wake up with us. Head over to morningskate.io. Check out the latest editions. Sign up for the fun. While you're at it, right here in our little show, go on down, give us a like, leave us a comment. Remember, we love to bring you all the news as well. So if we need to go to your dirty car and write in the dirt, wash me, Mo Seider is Calder winner, we would love to absolutely do that with you. So just remember all of that. That one was for you, boys. That one was for you. All right. Our bills are paid. We live to see another week. So let's talk on the back nine here. Let's talk a little Stanley Cup Final to kick it off. The Tampa Bay Lightning. We're talking Game 5 is happening right now. Nobody knows exactly what's going to happen. Will they push it to a 6th game? Will Colorado win? One thing's undeniable. Tampa playing in its 3rd straight Stanley Cup Final on a team that Steve Yzerman certainly had a hand in building. That's undeniable. Has Red Wings fans very, very excited. And I asked the question, not only to my line mates here, but also you at home. I can't wait to hear what you have to say about this in the comments below. Is Tampa's success setting the bar too high for the Red Wings and what Red Wings fans expect to see? So it's an interesting question. I actually really like this question a lot. And Devin, want to start with you on this. Is the Lightning's success setting the bar too high for Steve Yzerman's Detroit Red Wings?
Well, I'm going to cheat here and say yes and no. The reason why I say yes and no is because it is, I mean, Red Wings fans were celebrating the Lightning winning 2 cups in a row because that was Steve Yzerman's team, right? You look at the Lightning and go, that's going to be the Red Wings in a few years. And so, you see this team make it to the Stanley Cup Final for a 3rd year. You go, oh, that's going to be the Red Wings in a few years. This is an anomaly. It needs to be stated many times that this is not, what the Lightning are doing is not normal for today's NHL. This is a league of parity. This is a league that it's built to not have teams like the Tampa Bay Lightning. For all intents and purposes, the Lightning wouldn't exist if they weren't able to use the LTIR thing. So there's a lot of things at play here. The reason why I'm going to say no is because yes, the Lightning have been going to the Stanley Cup Final since Yzerman has been the general manager of the Red Wings, but Yzerman has not been the general manager of the Lightning since 2019. There was a year gap there where he stopped being the general manager and he was just an advisor to Julian Breezeball. At some point here, yes, Yzerman built the core or assembled the core of that team, but we need to start adjusting to the idea that this is Julian Breezeball's team. If it's Yzerman's team, you're doing a disservice to the Barclay Goodrows, the Blake Colemans, the Brendan Hagels, all the people that Breezeball has brought in that have helped guide the Lightning to the success they're having. So while yes, Kucherov, Killorn, Sorelli, Braden Point, all those guys are Yzerman people. The players that were there to make the team what it is today were brought in by Julian Breezeball. So I think at the end of the day, be excited. You absolutely should be excited if you're a Red Wings fan, but approach it with a sense of reality. Because even if the Red Wings do become as good of a team as the Lightning are, it is going to be very, very, and I do mean very hard for them to replicate what the Lightning are doing just because of parity and because of the way the NHL is set up.
I mean, I don't mean to start a fight, but Yzerman's version got swept. In the first round. I don't mean to start a fight. So Kyle, over to you. Is Tampa's success setting the bar too high for Steve Yzerman's version of the Detroit Red Wings?
This is a great question and a really fun one. And it really depends on how deep you look at the team. And exactly like Devin said, if you just look at it at the surface where Yzerman was there and had most of these key pieces in place and then left. And then they went on and won the Stanley Cup. And so he had his fingerprints all over it. Yeah, we're starting to set the bar a little high talking about this being back-to-back Stanley Cup finals that they're in. But like Devin said, you have to look at all the little intricacies that have happened throughout these seasons. Yzerman was that advisor in 2018-19. They got swept. He left in 2019. And then Breezeball took over. And what did he do? He brought in Braden Coburn. He brought in Blake Coleman. He brought in Kevin Shattenkirk. He brought in Pat Maroon from the Blues. He brought in those guys that offseason, and then that led them to a cup. The following year, Nikita Kucherov was injured the whole season, so they're able to bring in a couple other firepower or re-sign some other guys because of the long-term cap leeway that they had. And then this season, they got rid of that third line, but brought in guys like Corey Perry, Brandon Hagel, Nick Paul, that kind of filled some of those roles at a cheaper price for the Lightning. So to say that Yzerman couldn't do some of those moves or wouldn't draft some of those players that they got, it's kind of a take it with some salt, because maybe he would have, maybe he wouldn't have. But the overall, point to take away from here is Yzerman laid the foundation through the draft and through bringing in those trades. And then he helped Breezeball be in a position to bring in some of those other guys, in which Breezeball had to do his own negotiation. So yes, Yzerman certainly laid the foundation, but no, this is Julian Breezeball's team, and this Lightning team has been fantastic in terms of how they've been able to reload every year and come back. And like you said, the NHL is a league of parity, and I don't think you're going to see a team. I don't think you'll see the Avalanche come back to the Stanley Cup Final 3 years in a row, whether they win or lose this year. I just don't see it happening. I think that everyone, and Devin said it great. Everyone take this with a grain of salt. Know that Yzerman's in the right place to lay the foundation, but there's a lot of other little things that have to happen as well.
Yeah, one other thing that I'll say, and I agree with both of you wholeheartedly. One other thing is Yzerman hasn't won that Stanley Cup as a GM yet. And I'm not, by the way, that may come as a knock. I don't actually mean the opposite. I think that's going to motivate him more to get this Red Wings team over the hump through the rest of the rebuild. I mean, think of what he was saddled with when he came to Detroit, and the contracts that he was saddled with when he came to Detroit, and the moves that he made as a brand new GM in Tampa with players like Martin St. Louis and with Ben Bishop, and the people who were scratching their heads over those moves, and look at how they panned out. Foundationally speaking, He was the builder of the Tampa Bay Lightning. I hope it's not setting the bar too high in terms of, I hope fans have realistic expectations that they're still a few years out from being super competitive. But my goodness, anytime Yzerman pulls a head scratching move, such as drafting Moritz Seider 3 years
trading
later,
Anthony Mantha.
You've got a Calder winner. So good stuff. Really good conversation. We're going to move on, but interested to hear what you guys at home have to say about that too. So let us hear it in the comments. All right. Now let's talk about the coaching search that has gone on forever. You see these coaches getting hired left and right, coaches getting fired and hired in the whole time that that the Red Wings head coaching job has been open. So what is taking so long? And I'm going to quickly float my theory and then move on. My theory here is Steve Yzerman is waiting for the Lightning or the playoffs to end one way or another, and John Cooper comes on over and coaches the Red Wings.
Can you imagine?
So there we go on that one. That's where I'm leaving my opinion. Kyle, got our first episode. I think I said the Red Wings were going to make the playoffs, and that was 2 years ago. So, might as well throw a hot take out there. Kyle, over to you. What's taking so long with this Red Wings head coach search?
I'm going to agree with you, Pat, but throw a little curveball at you. I think, yes, Yzerman is waiting for this series to wrap up because I think he might be going after Jeff Halperin or Derek Lalonde as part of that. Those two assistants that have had some success in the assistant coaching and in the AHL levels, and could potentially become the next young coach that needs a shot at the head role, and so they could bring him over. So I think Yzerman has some experience with those two guys, and so that's my hot take right now is he is waiting for a Lightning coach, but it's going to be either Jeff Halperin or Derek Lalonde. I
like it. I mean, it really seems like there's a reason for the delay. Right. Really feels.
I mean, they've
way.
been interviewing guys, but it doesn't seem like they've been actively searching as hard as we might want as fans.
So, Devin, over to you. Why is this coaching search taking so long? What's happening here?
I'm going to start by saying that if the Red Wings were going to hire somebody who has already coached in the NHL, I think they would have already hired him.
Yeah.
So I think they're going with somebody who has not coached in the NHL before.
Unless he's still
been a head coach. Yes, well, exactly. not as a head coach. Unless he's John Cooper. Exactly. And while, yes, I definitely think he's waiting to talk to some Lightning coaches. I also want to point out that the AHL playoffs are not done yet. And Ryan Warsofsky is my guy to be this head coach, and his Chicago Wolves are in that final. So case in point, I don't think Yzerman's talked to everybody he wants to talk to yet. And if you're someone who, I had this interaction online a couple of days ago, can't you hire coaches at any time? Like there's no you can't, even if they're in the playoffs, can't you hire them? Yes, but if I'm Yzerman and I'm trying to hire a head coach, I would rather that person be focused on winning a championship than on their next job. If he's looking at Derek Lalonde and Lalonde is taking Yzerman's calls right now, I don't want Derek Lalonde because he's supposed to be focused on winning a Stanley Cup. Same thing with Ryan Warsofsky. If he's worried about Yzerman's calls instead of winning the Calder Cup, that's not who you want behind the bench. So at the end of the day, I think what it comes down to is that Yzerman just hasn't talked to everybody he wants to talk to yet. And until these playoffs are over in both the NHL and AHL, I don't think we're going to get any more clarity than we've already gotten on this situation.
So one thing I just thought about right now, and I know Warsofsky's been your guy, and I'll be super impressed if that's who Yzerman brings on. And I think you're onto something there, Devin. But let's hypothetically say the Wolves win the Calder Cup. By the way, if you guys aren't watching Wolves Thunderbirds in the AHL Calder Cup Finals, check it out. Fun stuff. But let's say the Wolves do win the Calder Cup. I wonder how many times in NHL history a team the following season would have a Calder Trophy winner and Calder Cup winning coach on the same team. You see that
connecting dots there?
I love it. So,
oh my gosh, this is some Kaiser Sose going on right now.
All right, We're going to keep moving. One more big topic to discuss before we have a little fun. Red Wings signed Finnish goaltender and world championship MVP Jussi Olkinuora. And I think I got it right.
Good job.
Really easy question. Devin, we're going to start with you. What does that mean for the Red Wings goaltending picture moving forward?
I almost feel bad because I wish I had like a definite answer on this, but I don't.
That's okay.
Let's kind of give a rundown on what this guy is, right? He's 31 years old, so he's not some hotshot young player that might be a prospect. No, he's 31. He's a finished product. He spent a couple seasons in the Winnipeg Jets organization from 2013 until 2016. Obviously didn't end up amounting to much. He ended up going back to Finland. And then just this year, while representing Finland, he was the MVP at the World Championships while backstopping Finland to an 8-0 record. He had a .948 save percentage and a 1.11 goals against average. That is insane. Oof. I think what does this mean for the Red Wings goaltending situation? I'm wondering if they're actually going to bring back Hellberg first and foremost, because A, I'm surprised that deal hasn't been signed if they were going to, and B, if they're signing this Finnish guy, they just signed Brockstrom today too, so he factors in. You've got Nedeljkovic, you've got Olkinuora. You got to figure out what you're doing with Sebastian Costa next year too. Yep. And then you probably also want to bring in a veteran guy who has played in the NHL to backstop Ned, or at least be like your starter in the AHL. So I don't think they're done signing goaltenders either. So why am I, that goes into play of why I'm not sure of what this means, because Olkinuora could end up being your starter in the AHL. He could be your backup in the AHL. He might even be your backup in the NHL. We don't really know. And, going back to Hellberg here, yeah, it was really exciting. He had a great, showing for Sweden throughout this past season. But his one game with the Red Wings, I mean, he was fine, but he wasn't like great. I would imagine that Olkinuora would produce similar results. I wouldn't expect him to go in there and put up a 948 save percentage. So at the end of the day, I think this is just adding more depth to the position, whether it's at the AHL level, NHL level, or even the ECHL level.
Sure.
And adding competition. That's what the name of the game is in a rebuild, is bringing out the best in your players, and you're not going to do that if you don't have competition. So
absolutely,
I like the signing because there is upside, and maybe he surprises. He did win MVP for a reason. But as for, is this guy going to be like the surprise stud of next season? It's way too early to say anything like that.
Sure.
No hot takes, Devin?
I'll leave that to you guys.
Ghost is traded. All right. Kyle, coming to you, and you got the last word on this. Jussi Olkinuora, what do you make of his signing? Anything to write home about?
I wouldn't say there's anything to write home necessarily about right now. I think this is, like Devin said, just a case of strengthening that depth, adding more to the well, and having options there, so you can bring them into training camp and kind of have them be that 1 or 2 at the AHL or 2 at the NHL level, and be there for competition to push some of the other goalies. He kind of bounced around between the AHL and ECHL the last time he was playing over in North America, and that seemed to be what kind of sent him back to Finland. Was he didn't necessarily want to be playing in the ECHL, or he felt he should be more of a regular in the AHL. So I feel like this is kind of another opportunity for him to prove that he can play at that high level. And the World Championships is kind of like a AHL tournament at times. There are some guys that are studs that will come over, but a lot of times it's some of the lesser known players or the depth players in the NHL. So to be 8-0 and to win that MVP is a good sign for him, and a good sign for the competition coming over. But I think this is just a depth move and to cover bases, because you never know what's going to happen in the offseason. He could also just be a trade chip too.
Sure. Yep. Good stuff. I agree. Let's move on, because I want to have a little fun here, and let's talk in the spirit of what's taking place right now. Let's talk Stanley Cup Final memories, because I'm curious what your favorite Stanley Cup Final memory is. I'm going to show my age quite a bit here, because I could go with 97, which was unforgettable. Wings break the 42-year-old drought. My brother will never let me live down that I was actually playing the Oregon Trail on a computer when Darren McCarty scored his goal. That's a true story in Game 4. I was playing the Oregon Trail. Now, I want to call out that old compact computer was in the family room with the TV, right? I wasn't in a separate room not watching the game, but he'll never let me live that down, and he shouldn't. I'll never forget that. That was sad. We could talk about 98 when they repeated and they handed the cup to Vladdy, and how could you forget that? My most vivid Stanley Cup final memory does actually come from 98, but it's actually Game 2 against the Washington Capitals when the Red Wings twice erased a 2-goal deficit. Nate was at that game on the glass. Believe it or not, I was at home watching with my mom, and they twice erased a 2-goal third period deficit lead. Dougie Brown scored to tie it up. Esa Tikkanen missed a wide open net, which would have iced the game. And Chris Draper goes on to score the overtime winner. I can still hear Gary Thorne over and over. The incredible comeback is complete. I could quote most of that game. I wore down the VHS tape in the ensuing years, rewatching that game so much. But that's my favorite Stanley Cup final memory. 1998 Game 2, Red Wings beat the Washington Capitals in overtime, and just what was a classic game. Kyle, gonna go to you next. What's your favorite Stanley Cup final memory?
I can throw in a least favorite moment too, because I can really show my age. So we'll start with 95, because I have one for almost every year. So 95, I was so upset when the Devils won the cup that I left my friend's house and walked home instead of staying the night at his house, because I was just so mad. I was like 9 years old. I was like 3 or 4 blocks away, but I was just so mad. I went home. 97, obviously the McCarty goal. I was at my aunt's house. I remember it vividly. Went crazy. We were watching it at a little get together pool party, and I was inside. Beautiful night, but nope, had to watch the game. 98 when they gave it to Vladdy. I mean, I don't think there's a dry eye in our area. 2002. We used to hold a bunch of high school friends, and I would hold outdoor viewing parties. Put up a big old sheet with a projector and sit outside and watch the games at night. So, I mean, had a lot of great memories from 2002. Man,
that triple overtime game must have taken you late into the night.
The leaping dandy. I got a fun story off the air for you for that one. But anyway, and then in 2008, obviously, I've talked about this many a times. I was an intern with the Detroit Red Wings, and the best by far Stanley Cup memory I have is driving Mark Howe and Gordie Howe with Mark's wife and daughter in the Stanley Cup parade in a Corvette convertible down Woodward Avenue with a million people chanting Gordie, Gordie, Gordie. And I mean, that was just absolutely phenomenal and something I will never forget. And then watching Yuri Hoodler cut in line at the restrooms over at Hart Plaza because he was just absolutely wasted. But that was, those are two of my favorite memories. But no, it was, I mean, we've been blessed as Red Wing fans, that we've had quite a few to pick from. Yep. So certainly have quite a bit to look back at.
As older Red Wings fans, Kyle, as older Red Wings fans.
That's true.
Also, that it's not even a meme. It's just like a Photoshop picture of Yuri Hoodler chirping at the Pittsburgh Penguins, where every face on the bench is Hoodler. If you don't know what I'm talking about, Google that. Yeah, that is one of my favorite things in the world. All right, Devin, you get the last word on this one. Your favorite Stanley Cup final memory.
Well, my favorite Stanley Cup final memory. You know what? I'm gonna cheat here. I gotta go. I gotta go with 2 real quick. One of my earliest hockey memories is staying up past my bedtime to watch them skate around with the Stanley Cup at the end of the 2002 Stanley Cup final. That was like, if I was unsure about the Red Wings, that like cemented it. I remember my stepdad at the time was like, you need to go to bed. And I was like, they just won the cup. Let me stay awake for like 5 more minutes. But then the immediate one that came to mind when this question was posed was I've mentioned before on the show that Henrik Zetterberg is my favorite hockey player of all time. And So what is my favorite Stanley Cup final memory? It has got to be his Conn Smythe shift against the Pittsburgh Penguins, that 5-on-3 penalty kill where he was an absolute animal, killing that basically by himself. There's a lot of reasons why I like Henrik Zetterberg, and one of the biggest reasons is that he was truly one of the best one of the more underrated two-way forwards in the league. And that stretch of time, that play, that Conn Smythe shift is the embodiment of it. He basically did that by himself. And by the end of that shift, by the end of that game, the Red Wings were going to win a cup. Like, there was no doubt in my mind. So them winning the cup in 2002 basically cemented that I was going to be a hockey fan for life. And then Henrik Zetterberg cementing the fact that he was going to be my favorite hockey player.
Love it.
I love it.
Absolutely love it. Super funny anecdote. I'll make it quick. When I think it was Zetterberg who got that goal, the Marc-Andre Fleury butt goal, right? Wasn't that Zetterberg's goal to clinch it? So. It was my first ever bachelor pad right out of college. Nate, my brother, was over watching with my still best friend and roommate Brian. And when that went in, I was the first one to see it go in because nobody really knew, but I saw the ref pointing, and we started tackling each other on the floor. And not only did I have rug burns on my forehead from tackling each other for that goal, but the neighbors down below, because we were in an apartment, they were hitting the ceiling with a broom handle how much we were celebrating. So it was good stuff. But all right, really good perspective there. Appreciate it, boys. Just got one more thing to address super quick before we sign off. I just wanted to thank all of you at home for watching us. I'm sorry to say this will be actually my last episode of the Hockey Writers Grind Line. I've got some things that I'm moving on to that I'm not quite ready to be able to formally announce yet, but pursuing other endeavors, I think, as they would say. But I can't even begin to tell you what this show has meant to me. We started it. Devin and I have been here since the very, very beginning. And I think we had 17 views on our very first show. And this has morphed into something that in our wildest dreams couldn't have imagined. 1.5, thousand views, 2,000 views a week, people tuning in to hear what the hell we have to say about the Red Wings. It's mind boggling when you put it that way, and all of your support, all of your comments. I'm looking at you, Paradox. I'm looking at you, Lord Venom, Cat's Culo, just the ones that come off the top of my head. I can't tell you what it means to me. I really, really can't. Just a guy who really likes hockey that fell in with an amazing website with the Hockey Writers, had some amazing opportunities here, and just incredibly grateful for everything. And I'm sad to be signing off. I assure you haven't heard the last of me. I promise you, and when the time is right, I'll be able to be a little bit more open about other things. But I'm just so grateful. So thank you at home, Kyle, Devin. Thank you guys for absolutely everything. I mean, I've got, you guys are friends for life, and we've got our own text chat and everything else that we stick to anyways, but can't tell you what it's meant to me. So same, our editor and producer, Matthew, and our editor-in-chief, Dean, the opportunities you've given me here and to give us and me this platform and be lucky enough to host this for almost 2 years. It's meant the world. I can't even put it into words. So I'm going to stop. I got to still pay a few more bills before we end the show, but I just wanted to say thanks. I just can't tell you how much it's meant to me, what a ride it's been, and how fucking proud I am of this show.
Before you pay bills, I need to say something because I need to. Pat, like you said, this was a day one thing for you and me. It is going to be very sad to be the only OG left on this show, I have to tell you. But there was once upon a time where we used to alternate hosts, right? We used to do it every other week. And at some point we were given the directive to find a stable host and run with it. And we put the ball in your court and you ran with it. I know I'm completely biased when I say this, but I think we have the best host on any of the shows on this channel. And I say that as somebody who was on Prospect Corner. I apologize, Matt. I mean no disrespect to you. Pat, I know what you're doing. Kyle knows what you're doing. You can announce that on your own time. I just know that you're going to absolutely kill it, and I can't wait to watch you thrive in your new role. We are going to miss you so much on this show. It is crazy. Everybody in the comment section, make sure you let Pat know how much we're going to miss him.
Yes.
And I can't thank you enough for helping us have this show be what it is, because I'm dead serious when I say without you, Pat, this show would not be what it is. And I thank you so much for that.
Absolutely, Pat. We are so proud of you, and man, just want to wish you the best of luck, and you're going to kill it. We know you are, and I'm super excited to continue to follow your path. So we love you, man. And thank you so much for all the hard work you put in for this show and for our website, and just making it the best product it can be.
Well, I love you guys too, and you didn't need to say that, and I appreciate it. And you pushed us over time, so thanks for that.
Can't pay our bills now. No, we're all getting canceled.
What are you gonna fire me? Come on. Thank you guys. It means the world. And thank you at home. It means the world. Remember, go sign up for Morning Skate at morningskate.io. Kyle and his team put so much hard work into this. I would know, I was a part of it at the beginning, and it is just such a special newsletter. 8 a.m. every weekday is delivered to you. Join in the fun. Don't forget, toss us a like, subscribe to the channel. Thank you for joining us for yet another grind. Thank you for everything the last 2 years. That's our show. We'll see you next time. Cheers.